Hi folks. Now you could all think that my home cinema is perfect. Well, I've always had the feeling that if I place the speakers behind the screen, that would give a true cinema experience. The thing is, with a solid screen, that's impossible. So an acoustically transparent screen is what is needed. So I set about making myself a test screen with a material called spandex. This allows the sound to come through the screen into the auditorium. So the first thing I did, I set about making a small test screen. Old fence panels were cut to make a small frame, just big enough for 1.85 ratio picture. My local fabric shop was able to supply the material for the test screen. A 1 metre length at 58 inches wide was just big enough for a 1.85 ratio picture. One side of this material has a matte finish, the other side is more reflective. I will start the test using the matte surface. I used drawing pins to hold the material in place. Later I would need to repin it for further tests. To conduct the test, the speaker is placed in a central position and the solid screen is covered with dark masking. This is to avoid any unwanted reflections. With the test screen and the speaker in place, we are now ready for the first test. So far so good, but the picture does not look quite as bright as it does on the solid screen. This test is light from LED stage lights. On the left is the white solid screen. In the centre, the spandex is folded back, putting the more reflective side to the front. And on the right, it's the dull side of the material. This clip from a home movie shows that the more reflective side is the one to use. To overcome the problem of the dull picture, I repinned the screen material with the more reflective side out, and also increased the projector lamp output. The stage has been measured and it's time to start cutting the timber for the new screen frame. The top and bottom frame rails are checked for curvature. This will help to provide a slight curve in the screen. The slight curve is encouraged for a couple of days. All the timber is now cut and assembly can begin. I am not a carpenter, so these steel brackets replace any corner joints that would be required. Making sure the frame is square, the corner brackets are fitted. And a final check, and it's perfect. The positions for the uprights are marked out on the top and bottom rails. The uprights are laid out and screwed into place. The frame is complete and the edges are smoothed to avoid snagging on the screen material. To make room for the speakers behind the new screen, the stage depth needs to be increased. The left and right speakers are removed along with the screen legs and border. The cross legs are taken out and the old solid screen is removed. Next, the proscenium header is moved forward by about 12 inches. That's 300mm in today's money. The speakers are removed from under the stage. The stage top is removed. And the framework is moved forward to match the cross header. And finally, the stage frame is lowered to accommodate the larger screen. The stage top is refitted and the back wall is covered with old blankets and black material. The screen frame brackets are checked for position and the frame is painted. The top adjustable masking is completed and there is a trial run to see if it works. The flexibility allows the masking to follow the curve of the screen. Here the masking is set at the lowest level. And these chains and screw eyes support the masking at any screen height required. The black masking material is measured and cut, ready for the masking panels. Material is pulled taut over the side panel. And the top masking frame is also covered with the black masking material. These are all now ready for fitting. The spandex is laid out on a clean surface, reflective side down. I use drawing pins to roughly hold the material in place. The aim is to avoid any ruckles with the minimum amount of stretch. A quick check shows that it's going well. A few staples are used to replace the well-spaced drawing pins. I haven't got the hang of the staple gun yet and use a hammer to finish the job. I finally get the knack of using this gun. All you need is a level surface. The surplus material is trimmed off. This looks good to me. I think I'll call that done. I now attach the support brackets. And we are now ready to install. Great care must be taken at this stage. It's a tight fit. and the screen is attached to a temporary support. And we're all ready to shoot a light on the screen. I cannot fill the larger screen as set, so the projector sledge will have to be moved to the back wall. The screen can be reset a few inches further back, but for now I will continue with the refitting. The masking is added. Then the screen legs, the pros legs and acoustic panels are refitted. And I then throw some coloured light at it all and kill the work lights. And then a short test film is played. This is the IMAX ratio, the digital IMAX ratio. With the screen removed, the speakers are finally positioned. I have two subs, one centre under the stage and the other centre behind the seating. On various tests, this proved to be the best layout. Well, for this room anyway. The screen support brackets are now modified and the screen can be reinstalled. The left and right supports hold the screen just a few degrees off upright. This looks good and also helps to keep the masking in place. There is just a slight curve from the natural curve of the timber. For the Cinerama films, this curve can be enhanced. And at the top, the centre of the screen is persuaded back to a shorter support. Too much curve and the screen material will bulge out in the middle. The projector sledge and the projector are now moved to the back wall. And this mask at the front of the projector is an aperture plate in effect, and it cuts off any excessive overlap at the screen end. It's much easier to trim this plate than it is in a 35mm projector. I can now mark out the curve required for the Cinerama masking. The masking requirements for the Cinerama films varies, so the masking curve needs to cover all of these variations. It's an awkward cut on the curve and a very dusty sanding to finish off. The black masking material is attached to the curved screen masking. And a protective layer is added. Again, the top masking is very flexible and great care is needed when setting it up. And a screen test with a home movie holiday film. If you're still with this epic video, you're definitely a home cinema enthusiast, and I hope you found it interesting. In this setup, I tried to recreate the cinema it was back in the days of film, 35mm and 70mm. With each ratio providing a picture size and shape according to the emulsion area available, and of course the type of lenses used. As the film's made for the digital age, I can just throw the picture at the full-size screen. Now we have to suffer the varying ratio nonsense. With this new screen, the sound placement is fantastic. I had my doubts, hence the early screen test. I created a lot of work for myself, but I'm very happy with the end result. Well, that's all folks. Thanks for watching.